Call this meeting of the Pickens County Board of Elections and Registration to order at 6:30 p.m. This time, I guess we'll have the pledge. Mr. Al, would you lead us in the pledge?
Make it work.
I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our January the 4th meeting. Those minutes were distributed via email before the meeting for review.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from our January the 4th meeting. Is there any discussion?
We didn't have any discussion on the minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Down hands, any opposed? The motion carries. The next item is the approval of our meeting's agenda for tonight.
Motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve tonight's meeting agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Down hands? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. We have no old business. That brings us to new business. So we had been toying with the idea of looking at our travel and compensation policy as a board since we took office in July of last year, and we have a tentative, I guess, a proposal to put before the board, basically presenting a pay cut for our Board of Elections. So the idea is we reduce our current pay from $75 a meeting to $50 a meeting. Reduce our pay from $125 on election day to $50 on election day, and essentially take the money that we recover for that and allocate it to a poll worker appreciation dinner that we will plan and host later in the year. So at this time, I would make a motion that we accept this new proposed travel and compensation policy with the understanding that the money that we save be reallocated towards poll worker appreciation and office equipment needs that may arise.
I have comments I'd like to make on that with the discussion piece.
So we need to have a second on the motion before we have the discussion.
Okay, so.
Second.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Just a statement. So, from my perspective, and I believe this board agrees, as the community should be aware, this board and poll workers are certainly not doing their work for the pay. We know board members and poll workers alike do this because they want to provide a service to their community and do what they can to ensure fair and accurate elections. Poll workers are an essential force, and without them, there are no elections. Being a poll worker is a thankless and underappreciated job, but not from this election board. If giving up a little pay as a board member allows funding to be provided for an annual poll worker appreciation event, with the potential of this being a line item in a future budget, then I'm happy to do it, and therefore I approve.
Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I would like to kind of rebut just a little bit. I'll second what Mike says with regard to the poll worker being an underappreciated job, and it's a long, long day.
Speak up.
I understand. Yeah, I go along with what Mike said with regard to the poll worker being an underappreciated position, and it is a long, long day. So, and they certainly don't do it for the money. Most of these folks, or all these folks, want to be involved in some way, and that's admirable. My concern with this was we either wait to the next budget cycle because we didn't get this didn't happen in the last budget cycle, so that all of the funds could be properly allocated in the budget. I think what we're doing here is going back into a prior year. You know, discussions were probably made. I came on board January 1st, and I just am coming up to speed with it. The concerns are paying out of county funds for an appreciation dinner. I'm not sure that's appropriate. And I'm not sure it's appropriate in how we spell out for allocation of this without going through the budget process. And I think it's more open and straightforward if we do it through the budget process. So I think, yeah, it's a good idea, but I think it's a little premature. So those are my main concerns about it.
Okay.
Do the other departments in Pickens County government,
There are other departments who have appreciation dinners that is paid for out of county funds, yes. And when we went to the budget hearing in, I believe it was November, that was one of the things that we brought up that we would like to do an appreciation for poll workers, so they are aware.
My thought was that if we were saving money, that it could be reallocated to not just poll worker appreciation, but whether it's raising pay, whether it's a bonus for the full-time people, the part-time people, or whatever the case may be, just not just poll worker appreciation.
So the motion was for a poll worker appreciation dinner and office staff and equipment as needed.
So not all of that, but it would be spread.
so it looks like there's $3,250 difference between what your old plan is and the new plan.
That's correct. yes.
Which could change, because we don't know how many elections we'll have and different things like that.
Yeah, so we would essentially be creating $3,250 roughly, dependent upon the number of election cycles in the year, worth of funds that we can allocate towards this project.
So is our compensation, is it like in line with the rest of the counties?
But
The rest of the counties, how they get paid, the boards, or is it all?
the poll
I
workers.
could not answer that
oh,
question.
I mean, board
I'm not
members.
sure that it's in line with other counties, but I believe our board gets paid more than the majority of the boards for the county. A lot of them are at the $50 or $55 range per meeting.
Poll workers.
No, the board members.
Oh.
Board members.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Down hands? All opposed? All right, motion carries. And I appreciate the civility with which we handled that discussion. I understand everybody doesn't always agree on everything, but at the end of the day, we're all here for the same reasons. We want to
Absolutely.
do good for
Fully agree.
for the voters of the county. So thank you all for that.
And we'll do it next year in the budget.
We certainly will.
We
It will
we
definitely be brought up next year in
request
the
it.
budget.
We might not get it, but we'll definitely request it.
That's true, yeah.
Oh, one other point, in this, on the last line, flat rate $50 a day
Mhm.
with no mileage, that, I think that's redundant from, or that's takes away from the previous statement.
So the
That-
previous statement is for traveling outside of Pickens County. That statement you're referring to is for training opportunities within Pickens County.
Okay, the third bullet point, flat rate $50 a day, no mileage per diem. Then below it states inside.
That was an oversight on my part. That one, the
Yeah,
end of that sentence needs to be removed.
That flat rate, $50 per day, the with no mileage or per diem should be struck.
You make that a motion?
I'll make a motion that we strike those last words of with no mileage or per diem.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
A second.
All right, we have a second. Is there any discussion?
But do we need to do anything? Because we already voted on it.
This was an oversight on my
Oh,
part.
okay.
We're correcting the,
Okay. I just want to make sure.
is there any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Down hands? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That was a grammatical
Yeah.
oversight on my part. I appreciate it. All right, that is all of our new business. That brings us to staff comments.
Okay, we have a new liaison with the Secretary of State. We got a new one towards the end of the year last year, and we've been assigned another new one. Her name is Angela Davenport, so that will make 3 liaisons that they currently have for the state. They're still working on getting some more because with all the counties, that's a lot of counties that each liaison is servicing. We're currently working on redistricting. We've submitted spreadsheets to the Secretary of State for approval. We're currently working in the training module, and we're scheduled to start redistricting in the real module on or after February the 4th, and we have to have it completed by the 18th. I've sent out updates that have been emailed to me by our regional facilitator that you all should have received on the legislative sessions, the updates that we've been getting. We've also sent out 2,296 precinct cards with change of addresses for the city of Jasper. I billed the city for the postage on that, which is $914.40. As of January, we received all checks for the 2021 municipal elections totaling $11,742.60. I've been emailing you about the Gavrio conference that's in Athens, March 20th through the 23rd. I have submitted registration for all board members and the staff that will be attending. I've booked hotels. Currently, we're at 2 separate hotels because it was booked at different times. I'm in the process of waiting to hear back if the hotel that has the majority of the rooms has cancellations, they can move us all to one hotel. If that is not capable of being done, then the hotels are less than a block away. There will be shuttle transportation from the hotel to the conference center, so it wouldn't be a problem for us all to meet in one location and ride the shuttle over to the conference center. Anyone that's interested in buying a banquet ticket for their spouse, you will need to log in like you did last year through UGA and purchase it through the Carl Vinson Institute. If you have any problems, I can give you the name of the lady who is in charge of that. That will be on Tuesday night. I've submitted our payment and paperwork for our current membership dues for Gavrio. I have sent out the agenda to each of you. If you didn't receive it, let me know, for the conference. And I would encourage all board members to attend the class on Sunday at 3 p.m. for elections office and board member basic training. That's a new class that they're going to be offering. It will be $10 a day for parking at each hotel. If you will please keep your receipt for that. I will need, per finance, I will need your receipt to be able to get you reimbursement for the parking. Our staff right now is currently doing weekly webinars with the Secretary of State pertaining to redistricting, NCOA, which is inactive people who haven't voted in the last 2 election cycles. There's a time clock of 40 days that we send out letters before they are canceled. And then the UACAVA, which is the military and overseas, and then Jarvis as well. We've got some upcoming training for Easy Vote. I know we implemented that program in a hurry, and I don't feel like we are using it to its ability. So Easy Vote is offering some training at different locations throughout the state for people who do not currently have Easy Vote and is interested in purchasing it, and also for people who have it and need a refresher course or just need additional training, and that's going to be in Rockdale County. That will be coming up this month. Then we also have training in Atlanta for CES. It's a refresher course over some of the LNA testing that we took back in August. I am happy to announce that we've had 9 new poll worker applications turned in. So if you will continue to reach out to anyone, reach out to your parties, and we still need more. We're asking individuals when they come in the office to register to vote. If they're interested, there is a box that they can check on the registration. So we're asking them to do that just to point out that that's there so they don't have an oversight with it. I've had a lot of positive feedback from the newsletter that was sent out to the poll workers. I think it really helped them feel involved. It gave them the dates that were coming up so they could plan for the election, and if they were going to be able to be available to work. So we're going to continue to do that. Rhonda has been working on an updated poll manager book that will have all forms, examples, and instructions. For each form the manager must fill out. We also plan on having a meeting during poll worker training for just the managers to go over these forms. give training on filling out the forms and answer any questions that they possibly have, because that was one of the feedbacks that we got from the previous election, was there was a lot of forms that they had never even filled out or they didn't remember filling out. So we're going to try to give more training on that now that we went through an election and have filled them out ourselves and know more about it. Rhonda and I are both in the process of completing continuing ed for our MEOC certification with the Secretary of State. We have qualifying coming up March the 7th through the 14th. We have our special, this is a little bit of confusing information that I have received from the Secretary of State, but the special election, which will fill the East End Commissioner's position, they will qualify in our office for that. If you are running for the West End Commissioner, you'll qualify with your party. The Board of Education candidates will qualify at our office. We've been running ads in the progress during December and January, and we will also continue to do so in February and March before qualifying. And then we are going to get with the media on doing an article for clarification on the qualifying locations because of the circumstances of the special election, to keep from candidates that are interested in qualifying having confusion on the week of qualifying. Barbara is working on an article to go in the smoke signals, and then she's also going to be working on an article to go in the progress. She is working with us and with Dawson County. This one is mainly to clear up some confusion that we have with voters about listing their mailing address as their physical address, with it being inside of Big Canoe is a box number, and we can't have a box number on their voter registrations. They can have it on their mailing, but just not on the registration. So we're trying to clear up some confusion and get that taken care of. So that's mainly housekeeping. Kay and Kathy have been working on cleaning up the voter registration cards. They've been removing inactive, deceased. We're adding barcoding for new registration through eNet, so we'll be able to scan those in once that program is up and ready. And Kay has been working on it all along, but now that Kathy is in there with her, they've got through H. So Kay was pretty proud of herself that she finished up with the H's. She said she's been working on it for a while. In Firefly with Secretary of State, I am working on getting Kathy and Larry access. I don't know if you received an email from them. I'm trying to get you set up so that way you will be able to print out any information, like the long calendar, any webinars, any information that they send out on weekly emails through the Buzz. You'll be able to receive that. So I'm working on getting you access. And I have been working with the Georgia Government Transparency and Campaign Finance Commission. I know back in September when we went to our conference, Holly, one of the presenters, she announced that she was going to work for another government agency. So that position has been vacant until January. So every email we have sent asking questions, we hadn't got a response up until now. But I've been working with Lysandra there. She sent me some information that we needed, which was the filing schedule and a how-to about what forms that the candidates need to fill out. So that's been really helpful with us. I've sent emails to all elected county officials requesting reports and sent in the filing schedule because the reports are due right now. I've been working with Lysandra about our office getting some more training on the reporting, and we are going to be working on putting together packets for newly elected officials with the schedule and forms that must be submitted to us, because that's not easily available. You kind of have to go on their website and hunt for them. And I have been working with the city clerks and sharing all this information that I have received because they file for their municipalities. So that's what our office has currently been working on.
I would say is that all, but it would be a terrible joke. You guys are doing phenomenal.
Agreed.
Does anybody have questions for Stacey? Okay, that brings us to public comments. Mr. Al, do you have anything for us? No.
No, sorry.
All right, board comments. We'll start with Mr. Brown.
Nothing, we're just trying to get up to speed.
We're glad to have you. Ms. Barber?
I've just been working with Stacy. I just gave her another update for my article. Just trying to put a timeline out, but I tried to shorten the thing on registration because even I was confused. So,
This is the second article you've worked on, right? So
Yeah.
we're appreciative of your
Very
efforts
much
there.
so.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Nothing? All right.
Nothing from me.
Nothing I can add. So we appreciate you guys, all the work you do. I thank the board for your willingness to work together, and I think that's about all I got. I'm speechless. So this time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded twice. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Down hands, any opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned at 6:51 PM. Thank you for your time.